There are places that never tried to be seen. They rise quietly beyond roads and schedules, shaped long before anyone thought to name them. Some appear on maps. Others exist only in memory, in belief, in the way people move through them. I began this journey searching for distance from noise, from speed, from the need to arrive anywhere at all. But the farther I went, the more the land began to speak for itself. In the high mountains, stone gathers clouds and refuses to let them go. Sacred peaks hold their ground, watched over for centuries, not climbed in a hurry. Rivers carve paths no one can straighten. Grasslands stretch wide enough to quiet even the longest thoughts. There are valleys shaped by wind and water, cliffs marked by color and time, and forests where mist arrives before sound. Some places invite ascent, others ask only that you pause. This is not a landscape built for spectacle. It was shaped by patience, by weather that never rushed, and by people who learned to move with the land rather than against it. Walk with me across mountains, rivers, and high plateaus, and you'll see that these places were never meant to be conquered. They were meant to be understood. Lijiang Old Town. In the winding lanes of Lijiang, meaning flows like water. The harmony between heritage and daily life invites a quiet kind of wonder. As the sun rises over Yunnan province in southwest China, centuries-old timber houses with tiled roofs catch the gentle gold light, their colors reflecting in the clear canals that thread the ancient streets. This UNESCO World Heritage Site traces its roots back more than 8 centuries, when it was a vital trading post on the Southern Silk Road, connecting distant lands and cultures across Asia. There's a sense of timelessness here, where the laughter of local Naxi people mingles with the sound of rushing water, reminding you that tradition and community still matter. Yet, amid the peaceful flow of everyday life, new influences brush softly against the old, past and present in quiet conversation. In a world rushing forward, Lijiang's calm persistence asks what it means to belong, and whether a place can truly hold the memory of human connection through the ages. Dali Ancient City, a crossroads of cultures, Dali has long embodied both resilience and openness at the edge of China's storied Yunnan province. Stone-paved streets unfold beneath the cool gaze of the Kangshan Mountains, while whitewashed walls and sweeping roofs recall centuries of Bai architectural tradition, all set within the softly bustling heart of Dali. For more than 1,000 years, this city flourished as the capital of the once powerful Dali kingdom, serving as a vital hub for traders moving along the Southern Silk Road. Remnants of its original walls, over 26 feet high or about 8 meters, whisper about past dynasties and distant caravans. Standing here, Time feels layered, memories measured out by the lazy movement of clouds and the distant sound of laughter spilling from tea houses. Dali balances the serenity of air-high lakes' mirrored waters with the ever-present hum of modern life, old calmness woven with new curiosity. In places like this, history is not just remembered, it is lived, connecting us quietly to the long rhythm of human journey. Hangzhou, at the heart of Hangzhou, lies an enduring sense of harmony, where tradition and innovation are woven into daily life. Along the willow-lined banks of West Lake in China's Zhejiang province, mist drifts gently over jade-green waters, mountains fading into silence as distant pagodas stand in quiet dignity. Once the imperial capital of the Southern Song dynasty, nearly 9 centuries ago, this city flourished as a center of commerce, art, and poetry, drawing travelers along the ancient Grand Canal, the world's oldest working canal, stretching over 1,100 miles, or 1,770 kilometers, connecting the north and south of China. Today, as electric bikes glide alongside calligraphy artists and tea pickers, a gentle nostalgia rides the breeze, reminding visitors how the past lingers in modern rhythms. Here, centuries-old temples echo beside cutting-edge technology parks, a place balanced between stillness and progress. Like the reflections on West Lake, the city's spirit quietly suggests that beauty can endure, even as new stories are written each day. Fenghuang Ancient Town. There is a quiet resilience in these riverside stones, a spirit shaped by centuries along the Tuojiang River. Lanterns float their soft golden light over wooden stilt houses, their reflections trembling in the evening mists, while narrow alleyways bustle with the daily rhythm of Fenghuang, nestled deep within the heart of Hunan Province, China. Founded during the Qing dynasty more than 3 centuries ago, this town has guarded its unique blend of Miao, Tujia, and Han heritage, witnessing dynasties rise and fall while preserving carved gateways and ancient traditions. Here, the hush of the water contrasts gently with distant echoes of festive song, evoking a nostalgia for lives woven tightly with place and memory. Fenghuang feels suspended between the old and the new, a living museum where resilience and change meet, and where every corner hints at stories that stretch quietly beyond these old riverbanks. The journey of preservation seen here is echoed in many corners of the world, wherever people strive to remember, even as time carries them forward. Xi'an Terracotta Army, silent sentinels from a vanished age. The Terracotta Army reflects humanity's longing for legacy and immortality. Beneath overcast skies, on the outskirts of Xi'an, in China's Shanxi province, thousands of life-sized clay soldiers stand in endless rows, their features distinct and lifelike, tinted by centuries beneath the earth. Crafted over 2,000 years ago for the first emperor of China, Qin Shi Huang, these sprawling underground regiments, stretching more than 650 feet, or about 200 meters, through the lush soil, were hidden until their accidental discovery in 1974 by local farmers. It is awe-inspiring to face each soldier, molded with unique expressions as if still watching over an emperor's infinite sleep. Here, the hope of eternity collides gently with the fragile reality of clay and time, a contrast between imperial ambition and human vulnerability. These figures remind us how every civilization seeks to mark itself against forgetting, their silent watch echoing the quiet persistence of memory itself. Great Wall of China, a ribbon of endurance and human ambition, the Great Wall stands as both barrier and bridge across centuries and empires. Its weathered stones snake over ridges near Beijing in northern China, tracing the land's dramatic contours beneath an endless sky, with watchtowers perched above quiet valleys and distant city haze. Built and rebuilt over more than 2,000 years, this wall stretches more than 13,000 miles, or about 21,000 kilometers, from the Bohai Sea to the desert sands, bearing silent witness to shifting dynasties and the hopes of millions. To walk its uneven steps is to sense both the weight of history and the fleeting softness of a breeze as ancient walls echo with the footsteps of those who defended and those who dreamed. Here, monumental strength coexists with striking vulnerability, stone enduring while human stories fade. The Great Wall invites us to contemplate not just what was kept out, but also all that has been connected across the vastness of time. Forbidden City. Once the symbolic heart of imperial power, the Forbidden City invites us to reflect on the enduring allure of secrecy and authority. Beneath the wide Beijing sky in northern China, vermilion walls and golden roof tiles shimmer against the pale morning haze, and the rhythmic echo of footsteps dissolves into the vast marble courtyards. Conceived in the early 15th century for the Ming dynasty, these 720,000 square feet, more than 67,000 square meters, encompass nearly 1,000 buildings, each witness to centuries of dynastic rise and fall, ceremonies, and transformation under subsequent Qing rulers. Standing within these boundaries, it's easy to feel dwarfed by both the human ambition that raised such grandeur and the hush that lingers after emperors are gone. The Bund. Here, along the gentle arc of the Huangpu River, Shanghai's ever-changing spirit finds its quiet pulse. Early morning sunlight casts golden reflections across the neoclassical facades, where pedestrians drift between towering banks and flag-topped mansions. The skyline of modern China rising behind like a glass and steel promise. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, this waterfront became the heart of Shanghai's international presence, an uneasy crossroads shaped by colonial ambition and economic transformation, as architects from Europe mapped dreams onto Chinese soil. Standing here, you sense an echo of longing and resilience, the serenity of river mist softening memories of past struggle, as the city's history mingles with the hope of each new day. Gilded opulence rests beside humble street vendors, old stone by gleaming tower, a meeting of eras, unresolved and beautiful. The Bund invites us to wonder how urban shores everywhere continue to reflect all that a city has been, and all that it dares still to become. Suzhou Classical Gardens. In these living masterpieces, history and harmony find their quiet intersection. Pathways wind beside still ponds and weathered pavilions, their delicate eaves mirrored in jade-green water at the heart of Suzhou in Jiangsu province. Crafted over centuries, especially during the Ming and Qing dynasties, these private retreats were meticulously designed by scholars and artisans to reflect a vision of nature perfected. Some, like the humble administrator's garden, dating back more than 500 years and spreading across more than 12 acres, or about 5 hectares. Here, each stone and each bamboo stalk seems chosen for contemplation, inviting a gentle kind of thinking that lingers in the air. The quiet order of flowing water and intricate rockwork sits in contrast to the ever-changing life beyond the walls, reminding visitors how beauty can be shaped, yet never fully tamed. From these gardens, the idea of balance between people and nature, tradition and change, radiates outward, touching all who listen to the silence. Mount Imei rising as a sacred sentinel, Mount Imei embodies the quiet strength and spiritual longing that have drawn pilgrims for centuries. In the cool, mist-laden heights above Sichuan province, China, ancient stone steps wind through groves of cloud-kissed fir trees and fields of wild azaleas, where golden sunlight filters across centuries-old monastery roofs. Revered as one of Buddhism's 4 sacred mountains, Mount Imei became a renowned center of worship and learning over 2,000 years ago, its slopes sheltering countless temples and a serene, gilded statue of Samantabhadra atop its summit, more than 10,000 feet high, or about 3,000 meters. Walking these paths, there's a sense that each step dissolves the boundary between earth and sky, silence and prayer. Yet while serenity pervades the mountain, sharp cliffs and sudden mists remind visitors that beauty and peril are woven together in this highland sanctuary. Here, on the edge between heaven and earth, the journey itself becomes an ongoing invitation to wonder at the world's quiet mysteries. Leshan Giant Buddha, serenity carved in stone, where belief and centuries meet on a mountainside. Towering above the confluence of three rivers, the Buddha gazes calmly over the misty city of Leshan in Sichuan province, China, his massive hands resting gently on knees that rise more than 230 feet, or about 70 meters, from the forested cliff. Begun in the 8th century during the Tang dynasty, this colossal statue was painstakingly chiseled by thousands of workers over 90 years, designed to watch over both boat travelers and the turbulent waters below. Standing in the presence of such scale, visitors might feel both miniature and comforted, sheltered by the folds of history and devotion. Stillness blends with the ceaseless flow of rivers and time here, ancient stone and restless water in soft opposition. The giant Buddha reminds us how enduring faith and craft can quietly shape the human story for all who wander close.
Mount Lashan carved from both rock and devotion, this ancient hillside stands as a profound testament to spiritual ambition and human ingenuity. Looming above the city of Lashan in Sichuan province, China, the colossal Buddha gazes serenely over the meeting of three rivers, his massive stone features softened by centuries of mist and moss, dwarfing the crowds below who move like quiet shadows against his feet. Completed in the early 9th century, the statue rises more than 230 feet, or about 70 meters, making it the largest stone Buddha in the world. A project begun by monks seeking to calm the river's dangerous currents for passing boats. Here, awe is mingled with humility, as visitors confront not only the scale but the enduring patience required to shape faith into landscape. In Mount Lashan's silent gaze, we glimpse humanity's endless search for safety, meaning, and wonder echoing quietly across time and rivers everywhere. Tianqi Lake, a shimmering mirror cradled by the peaks, this place embodies the idea of tranquility at the threshold of heaven. High in the Tian Shan Mountains of China's Xinjiang Autonomous Region, the lake's turquoise waters reflect snowy summits and fragrant spruce forests, their scents carried on crisp alpine air that hints at both isolation and majesty. Formed thousands of years ago by glacial movement, Tianqi Lake sits more than 6,000 feet above sea level, or nearly 2,000 meters, and for centuries, it has lured travelers and storytellers along the ancient Silk Road. To linger at its banks is to feel time slow, as if each ripple on the water holds memories of long-forgotten dynasties and whispered legends. Here, serenity and remoteness dwell side by side, a gentle reminder of the fragile balance between the untouched wild and the footprints humanity leaves behind. The lake's silent expanse invites reflection, challenging us to find the heavenly in the world's high, hidden corners. Mount Laoshan, a granite giant rising where sea and sky converge, Mount Laoshan is revered as a cradle of Taoist spirituality. Mist curls between ancient cypress trees, while the high slopes overlook the restless blue sweep of the Yellow Sea outside Qingdao in Shandong province. For more than 2,000 years, this sacred mountain, reaching nearly 3,700 feet, or about 1,100 meters, has drawn emperors, poets, and seekers who came to its temples and springs, believing in the healing power of its waters and the wisdom echoing from its stone. There is a quiet humility in wandering its twisting paths, where every footfall seems to bridge worldly routine and the eternal calm of mythology. Laoshan exists both as a solid, immovable peak and as a place softened by legend, where rugged cliffs and tranquil shrines live side by side. In the hush of its mountain air, visitors may still sense how earthly landscapes can open into spiritual horizons, reminding us of what endures beyond the passing clouds. Mingyue Mountain. A mist-clad sanctuary, Mingyue Mountain offers a quiet lesson in endurance and renewal. Rising just west of Yichun in Jiangxi Province, swathes of bamboo forests sway beneath a shifting veil of clouds, while clear streams trace luminous ribbons through emerald valleys. For centuries, these slopes reaching almost 5,000 feet, or about 1,500 meters, have been revered as sacred, drawing pilgrims and poets since the Tang Dynasty, when Buddhist monks first built tranquil temples along the trails. Today, the hush of dewdrops on moss and the distant echoes of chants invite visitors to slow down, carrying a sense of peace that is both ancient and startlingly present. Yet within the serenity lies a subtle tension between wild, untamed beauty and the careful touch of spiritual tradition. Here, as mist dissolves into sunlight, Mingyue Mountain quietly asks what it means to belong to a landscape shaped by both time and reverence.
Bayan Buluk grassland, a living canvas of endless green. This grassland embodies the quiet endurance of nature and the vastness of the human spirit. Rippling across the heart of Xinjiang in western China, the plain stretches beneath an endless blue sky, its emerald meadows, broken only by the silver ribbon of the Kaidu River, winding for more than 100 miles, or about 160 kilometers, through wildflowers and the distant silhouettes of yurts. Once the summer grazing land for Kazakh nomads, Bayan Buluk has been a crossroads of culture and migration for centuries, its name meaning rich spring in Mongolian, a testament to its role as a lifeline amid the arid mountains. Here, a sense of boundless freedom mingles with deep-rooted tradition as the quiet bell of livestock echoes under the vast sky. The land's serene beauty is balanced by the harsh cold of its long winters, reminding us that even the gentlest landscapes hold stories of endurance. In this place where horizons seem endless, the ever-unfolding meeting of nature and culture invites us to wonder how such open spaces shape the people who call them home. Wulingyuan, a realm where natural architecture reveals Earth's patient artistry. Rising from the forested valleys of Hunan Province in China, thousands of slender quartzite pillars stretch toward the misty sky, their weathered stone faces veiled by drifting clouds and lush moss. For more than 300 million years, water, wind, and time carved these towers, some reaching more than 600 feet, or nearly 200 meters, shaping a landscape that inspired ancient legends and even the floating mountains in modern cinema. Amid the quiet, underneath the calls of distant birds, there is a humbling sense of how briefly human stories unfold beside such silent giants. Here, the wild geometry offers both mystery and clarity, reminding us that what is carved and what is grown intertwine over ages. As the morning fog drifts through these peaks, one wonders how many worlds remain hidden within nature's quiet patience. Jinyun Xiandu, a realm where stone and mist seem to hold an unspoken ancient wisdom. Rising softly from the verdant valleys of Zhejiang province in eastern China, the iconic Dinghu Peak stretches more than 1,700 feet, or roughly 500 meters, above the rivers and bamboo groves below, its slender spire wrapped in drifting clouds and the delicate hush of flowing water. Once sacred to poets and Taoist hermits since the Tang dynasty over 1,000 years ago, these peaks have been places of refuge, inspiration, and quiet contemplation, shaped not only by nature's restless hands, but also by generations seeking clarity amidst towering silence. There is a gentle awe that lingers here, a feeling that the veils between past and present have thinned, inviting visitors to listen more closely to the landscape's patient stories. At Xiandu, permanence and ephemerality seem to walk side by side, towering stone immovable, yet wrapped in morning mist that drifts and vanishes.
Fanjingshan rising like a silent sentinel from the mists. Fanjingshan offers a profound sense of spiritual solitude and transcendence. On the rugged slopes above Guizhou province in China, ancient forests cling to steep cliffs, while a lone monastery seems to float more than 7,000 feet, or over 2,100 meters, above the river valleys below, kissed by shifting clouds and delicate sunlight. Revered as a sacred Buddhist site for centuries, Fanjingshan's needle-like peak has been a sanctuary for monks and pilgrims since the Tang dynasty, shaping both spiritual practices and local legends. Standing here, It is easy to feel both infinitesimal and infinite part of a mystery etched into ancient stone and wind. Though the mountain is a place of quiet isolation, life thrives in hidden crannies, and golden snub-nosed monkeys dance among the cedars, reminding visitors that solitude and vibrancy coexist. High above the world, Fanjingshan continues to offer timeless sanctuary, echoing humanity's never-ending search for meaning beyond the clouds. Mian Mountain. A living testament to resilience and transformation, Mian Mountain embodies centuries of spiritual seeking and cultural renewal. Rising in shifting layers above Jiexu in Shanxi Province, China, its limestone cliffs are draped in thick forests and threaded with mist, while ancient temples cling impossibly to the sheer faces, their red eaves glowing against gray stone. Over 2,000 years ago, this mountain became the legendary refuge of Jizitui, whose loyalty during the spring and autumn period inspired the Cold Food Festival, still honored today. Across ages, emperors and hermits alike found both sanctuary and challenge along these winding paths. Walking here, footsteps echo soft reverence among pine needles and distant bell sounds, as if each visitor is invited to listen for their own inner silence. Sharp ridgelines and sheltered temple courtyards reveal a gentle duality, a land of both stoic endurance and quiet sanctuary. As clouds drift over the summit, Mian Mountain asks us how landscapes like memories shape not just who we are, but who we might yet become. Oksan River, in the vast quiet of Inner Mongolia, The Akshan River speaks of resilience and renewal, its waters tracing the patient journey of life through a rugged, ever-changing land. Along its winding banks outside the town of Akshan, China, you find beds of moss carved against ancient volcanic rock, birch forests bending gently over glassy currents, and a morning mist that softens the edges between earth and sky. Formed millennia ago by volcanic activity, the river flows through protected lands, a sanctuary shaped by fire and ice, where both nomads and wildlife have gathered for centuries, relying on the pure water and fertile grasslands it encourages. There is a tenderness in how sunlight dapples over the river's surface, a reminder that even places forged in upheaval can nurture moments of deep calm and quiet hope. Here, chaos and tranquility coexist, the raw marks of geological transformation softened by the gentle persistence of life clinging to every stone and bank. As the river moves on, its story continues, inviting each traveler to consider where, in the world's vastness, endurance gives rise to beauty. Yulong Snow Mountain rising, as an ancient sentinel, this mountain embodies the timeless dialogue between earth and sky. Shrouded in mists above Lijiang in China's Yunnan province, its silver-white peaks shimmer like a dream, stretching nearly 18,000 feet high, over 5,400 meters, while glaciers cast blue shadows on rocky outcrops. For centuries, this range has been sacred to the Naxi people, woven into myths as a heavenly dragon whose presence protects their valley, and its climbs once challenged explorers traversing the Tea-Horse Road. Standing before its immense silence, the air is so thin and pure that every breath feels like a delicate exchange with history itself. Here, eternal snow meets fleeting clouds, a reminder that endurance and ephemerality exist side by side. In such places, humanity's place within the great sweep of nature softens, inviting us to question how we find meaning among peaks that seem to belong both to folklore and to the sky. Mount Wudang. In the heart of Chinese spiritual tradition, Mount Wudang stands as a sanctuary, devoted to inner harmony and the balance of opposites. Rising from the mist in Hubei province, ancient temples and weathered pavilions cling to the emerald slopes, their intricate eaves framing vistas that stretch for miles across the rolling landscape of central China. For centuries, this sacred site has been a cradle of Taoist practice and martial discipline. Its foundations dating back over 600 years, when the Ming Dynasty ordered the construction of what would become more than 60 monasteries, some perched at elevations nearing 5,000 feet, or about 1,500 meters above sea level. Here, serenity and resilience move hand in hand. The whispered prayers and slow movements of Tai Chi evoke a quiet strength that lingers in the mountain air. Wudang's tranquility is interwoven with the memory of countless pilgrims, each seeking both discipline and enlightenment beneath the same cloud-streaked sky. As morning light filters through the ancient trees, Mount Wudang reminds us that the search for balance between body and spirit, tradition and transformation, is a journey that transcends boundaries and generations. Yandong Mountain. In every fold of its ancient stone, this landscape holds the enduring conversation between earth and sky. Early morning mist lingers over the jagged peaks and sheer cliffs near Wenzhou in Zhejiang Province, China, where waterfalls tumble hundreds of feet nearly 100 meters into emerald lakes, and bamboo forests rustle quietly beneath dramatic rock formations. Yandong's soaring heights have drawn travelers, poets, and monks for more than 1,000 years, with records from the southern and northern dynasties chronicling its allure as one of the 10 famous mountains of China, celebrated not only for its beauty but also its role as a spiritual retreat and a cradle of Taoist culture. Standing here, there is a hush impossible to describe, a sense that time itself is slowed by these silent pillars of stone and veils of cloud. The mountain embodies a quiet tension between movement and stillness, sanctuary and wilderness, fragile yet unyielding. In Yandong's embrace, we're quietly reminded that the most powerful stories often unfold where nature and memory flow side by side, their meanings waiting patiently for each new visitor to listen. Zhongye Dongsha Landform, a landscape where geology becomes art. The Zhongye Dongsha offers testament to the patient artistry of time. Rolling hills unfurl in waves of crimson, ochre, and gold just outside the city of Zhongye in Gansu Province, China, where sunlight brushes the striated sandstone with a gentle, otherworldly glow. Over more than 24 million years, layers of mineral-rich rock have been pressed, fractured, and sculpted by wind and rain, rising as ridges and troughs stretching several hundred feet high, or around 100 meters. Standing at this ancient palette, visitors often feel both small and intimately connected to the broader story of Earth's quiet changes. There is a stillness here, a contrast between the fiery colors and the serene silence of the surrounding plain. In places like this, we sense that even in the slowest moments, the world is always remaking itself. Canas Lake's serenity and mystery ripple across these pristine waters, inviting travelers to the far northwest of China's Xinjiang Autonomous Region. Mist shrouds the jagged peaks that frame the lake's turquoise surface, while dense Siberian birch and spruce forests trace the shoreline, echoing with the distant voices of Kazakh herders and the whisper of alpine winds. The lake's changing colors from jade to deep blue remind us how easily beauty can be concealed or revealed, depending on time and perspective. In places like Canas, the world feels vast and delicate all at once, each moment offering a silent invitation to witness rather than conquer the wild. Mount Ganga, a solitary monarch of the clouds, Mount Ganga is often called the King of Sichuan for its awe-inspiring dominance over southwestern China. Rising nearly 25,000 feet, or about 7,600 meters, its fluted ice ridges and soaring summit catch the early sun above a swirl of hidden valleys high in Sichuan province. First summited by a Chinese expedition in the mid-1950s, Ganga's perilous slopes have claimed more climbers than they have welcomed, earning it a reputation both as a sacred peak and one of the world's most formidable. Standing in its silent shadow, a sense of humility settles in the mountain, invites reverence rather than conquest. Here, life is marked by fragile wildflowers and prayer flags, caught between serenity and danger, where ancient Tibetan beliefs meet the stark indifference of glaciers. Across distant lands, towering summits remind us how nature's highest places silence even the most restless human journey. Yarlung Zangbo Grand Canyon, a realm of breathtaking extremes, where the power of nature carves both beauty and mystery into the Earth's surface. Through the wild plateau of Tibet, in southwestern China, the canyon unravels beneath veils of shifting mist, its turquoise river threading between vertical cliffs that rise nearly 16,000 feet, or close to 5,000 meters, above the valley floor. It was in the late 20th century that scientists confirmed this gorge to be even deeper than the Grand Canyon, stretching over 300 miles, or nearly 500 kilometers, and sheltering isolated pockets of rare plants and remote villages whose lives echo back centuries. Standing at its edge, awe is mingled with a quiet humility, for the vast silence here seems to guard secrets as old as the Himalayas themselves. This is a place where raw force and delicate life coexist, thundering rapids below, fleeting prayer flags above. In such places, we're reminded that our own stories are threads in a tapestry far older and wilder than we can imagine. Daocheng Yading, revered as the last Shangri-La, Daocheng Yading is a sanctuary where myth and mountain converge. Snow-draped peaks rise above wildflower meadows, their jagged silhouettes mirrored in crystalline lakes near the remote reaches of Sichuan Province, China, while prayer flags flutter in sharp alpine air. First protected in the 20th century, this nature reserve envelops sacred summits like Chenrezig, standing more than 19,000 feet, or about 5,800 meters, high, that have drawn Tibetan pilgrims for centuries, each trek a gesture of devotion and endurance. To stand here is to feel caught between the earth's fragile quiet and the immensity of untouched wilderness, humbled by landscapes that seem suspended in time. In Daocheng Yading, ancient faith and raw nature exist side by side, serenity touched by both human reverence and elemental power. Such high places remind us how much of the world's beauty is both welcoming and unreachable, hinting at stories that still lie beyond the horizon. Stone forest here. Ancient limestone pillars reach skyward, transforming the meaning of landscape into a silent maze of stone. Through the humid air of Yunnan Province, China, sunlight flickers across knife-edge spires and shadowed corridors, where rare wildflowers press against gray rock and crickets sing at dusk. Formed over 270 million years by relentless water and wind, the stone formations stretch more than 300 feet high, or about 90 meters, and have inspired myths and gatherings for countless generations, especially among the Sani people. There is a gentle awe in this immersion, as if wandering not only through nature's art, but into something older than memory itself. Amid their hardness, the stones carry delicate lichen and sudden fleeting green, reminding us that change can carve both beauty and endurance. In places like Shilin, we glimpse the patient hand of time and the ways landscape shapes the stories of those who walk beneath its shadows. Mount Heng, a sacred summit where devotion and endurance rise together along the northern skyline of China. The ridgelines fade into mist above Shanxi Province, their pine-clad slopes holding centuries of footsteps and silent prayer. At dawn, colors blur softly over sheer cliffs and ancient monasteries nestled in improbable crags. Revered as one of China's 5 great sacred mountains, northern Hengshan has witnessed the gathering of emperors, pilgrims, and poets for over 2 millennia. Its temples rebuilt time and again after wars and natural forces swept through, most notably after fierce battles in the Ming era left only fragments of its original grandeur. There is a stillness here, shaped both by resilience and loss, where hardship has only deepened the mountain's spiritual gravity. Dawn's pale chill. You sense how vulnerability and strength coexist, an unbroken faith held in tangled roots and battered stone.